Junior year at Lincoln High in Tampa, Cameron Webb was tired of making the same mistakes with girls. It started with a joke his older brother made at dinner. "Bro, you pick girls like you pick pizza, whatever looks good in the moment. You need actual criteria." That night, Cameron did something that would change everything. He wrote down 4 factors, not shallow things like looks or popularity, but real things, the things he'd learned from watching relationships fail and succeed around him. He didn't want someone content to drift. He wanted someone with a plan, with dreams big enough that they'd drag him along with them. Not niceness. He'd learned the difference. Niceness was what you showed the world. Kindness was what you did when no one was watching. The kind where conversation felt easy, okay? Where inside jokes formed organically, where you could sit in silence and it didn't feel empty. He'd watched his friends date girls with too much chaos in their lives, girls whose emotional weather patterns changed 3 times a day. He wanted someone grounded, someone he could actually build something with. He showed the list to his best friend Marcus over Xbox that night, expecting to get roasted. "Honestly, bro," Marcus said, not looking away from the screen, "that's actually smart as hell. Most people just pick the first cute girl who talks to them." Cameron didn't think about the list much after that. It just sat in his notes app, a reminder of what he was looking for. Then he met Sophia. She was sitting in the library during 4th period free block, surrounded by college applications and financial aid forms. Her forehead was wrinkled with concentration, and she was muttering in Spanish to herself something about the FAFSA being designed to torture people. Cameron had seen Sophia before. He'd been aware of her existence in the vague way you're aware of most people at a high school of 2,000 students. She was in the National Honor Society. She ran track. She kept to herself mostly, but he'd never actually noticed her. He sat down at her table without asking, a terrible habit he couldn't break. "The FAFSA hates everyone equally," he said. "It's actually beautiful in its own terrible way." She looked up, annoyed at first, then amused. "Are you here to help or just provide philosophical commentary on my suffering? Can I do both?" Her name was Sophia Reyes. She was a senior, applying to schools with early acceptance deadlines that were exactly 3 weeks away. Her parents had immigrated from Venezuela with nothing. Her mom was a nurse. Her dad worked construction. Neither had gone to college. And Sophia was going to be the first. She talked about it like someone possessed. Like it wasn't just a goal, but a mission. Not for herself alone, but for her parents. For her younger brother. For everyone who told her that people like her didn't make it to schools like Stanford or MIT. "I have to get at least a 95 average this year," she said, showing him her spreadsheet, an actual color-coded spreadsheet for her grades. "Full ride is the only option. My parents can't afford loans." Cameron found himself helping her with applications over the next few weeks. She'd text him at night with essays she was working on, and he'd read them and give feedback. They'd sit in the library together during free block, and he'd quiz her for AP exams. One day, he watched her help a freshman in the hallway who'd dropped all her books. Instead of handing them to her and walking away, Sophia walked her to class, listened to her problems, made her feel seen. Later, they started eating lunch together, not because they planned it, but because it just happened naturally. They'd make fun of the cafeteria pizza, debate whether high school was objectively worse, or if they just didn't appreciate it enough, share earbuds and listen to music. Cameron would say something stupid, and Sophia would laugh. Not a polite laugh, but a real one that snorted out of her nose and made her embarrassed. He'd mimic one of their teachers, and she'd threaten to hurt him while trying not to laugh harder. They'd sit on the bleachers after school sometimes, and the silence between them felt like the most natural thing in the world. But then, and this was the part that mattered, Sophia was solid. She didn't play games. She didn't go through crazy mood swings. She knew what she wanted, and she worked toward it day after day without drama. When Cameron asked her out officially in November, she didn't act coy. She didn't make him wait for an answer or test him. She just said, "Yeah, I like you too, but I'm going to be really busy this year, so you have to be okay with that. She set boundaries without being mean. She was dependable. She showed up. Sophia got accepted to MIT in March. Early decision, full ride, scholarship that covered everything. Cameron watched her open the email in the library, and he'd never seen anyone look that happy. She cried, just sat there and cried while he held her hand. I did it, she whispered. I actually did it. They lasted until graduation. It was good, really good. The kind of relationship that felt like it might actually mean something. But then, senior year turned into summer, and summer turned into reality. In July, Sophia asked to meet him at their spot on the bleachers at Lincoln High. The sun was setting over the football field, turning everything gold and orange. I'm breaking up with you, she said, just like that. No build-up, no games, just honesty. Cameron felt his heart drop, but before he could say anything, she kept going. You're the best relationship I've ever had, she said. You're kind, you're funny, you make me feel seen, and that's exactly why I have to do this. I don't understand. I'm leaving for Boston in 5 weeks, she said, and I'm going to be absolutely consumed by MIT. My first year is going to be about proving I belong there. It's going to be about making sure my parents' sacrifice meant something. It's going to be about working harder than I've ever worked in my life. She turned to face him directly. And you deserve not to compete with that. You deserve someone who can give you their whole heart. Someone who isn't already giving everything they have to their dreams. But I don't need your whole heart, Cameron said. I just need part of it. I know, Sophia said, and she was crying now, but I'd resent you for it. After a year of being stressed and overwhelmed, I'd look at you and think, I could use this time to study, or I'm too tired for this, okay? And the kindest thing I can do is not put you in that position. She grabbed his face in her hands and kissed him like it was the last moment they'd ever have, like she was trying to give him something to hold on to. You did this 4 factors thing, didn't you? She said after. How did you know that? Because you checked all my boxes, too. And that's how I know you'll find someone else who does. Someone who can be all in, all the time. Cameron lingered on those bleachers long after she left, lost in thought. He scrolled through his notes app, staring at that list, the 4 factors that had drawn him to Sophia. Each one was like a puzzle piece, and he realized how they all fit together. She had experienced them too, just like him. The connection was undeniable, right? It was almost like fate had a hand in it. How wild is that? You know, sometimes it hits you that even when 2 people seem perfect together, it doesn't always mean they're meant to last. It's like a practice round, right? A little test run that shows you what real love can feel like. Think about it. Those moments when you're with someone who really gets you, who challenges you, and brings out the best in youth. That's what it's all about. It's a mirror reflecting your potential, reminding you of the kind of love you're truly capable of experiencing. So, maybe those relationships aren't failures, they're just stepping stones guiding you towards something deeper and more meaningful. 3 years later, Cameron stumbled upon a TikTok that broke down the 4 factors to consider when picking a wife. It had gone totally viral, racking up millions of views. People were buzzing in the comments, saying how real it was and how much it resonated with their lives. Intrigued, he took a screenshot and sent it over to Sophia, who was busy conquering the tech world at MIT. She had graduated with honors and was now diving headfirst into a startup in Boston, making waves and living her best life. He couldn't help but wonder if the TikTok's advice would spark a conversation between them. She'd respond with a laughing emoji and say, "We were just practicing for each other. It's funny how life turns out, right?" He'd eventually marry someone else, this amazing girl who had ambition, kindness, and that real chemistry with him. You know, someone who's grounded and just good for him. Deep down, he'd always remember Sophia Reyes, sitting there in the sweltering Tampa heat, opening that MIT acceptance email. Can you imagine her tears of joy? It was like winning the lottery for her, a moment that would stay with him forever. The truth about those 4 factors isn't just that they guarantee a marriage. It's more about helping you spot something real when it comes your way. Sometimes, recognizing that real connection means knowing when to let go, even if it hurts. Kaya, have you ever held on to something that just wasn't working? It's tough, right? Sometimes, that's how you make room for something better. So, if you want more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe.